Morning, everyone. The Corporate Services Committee agenda for Thursday, December the 7th, 2017 to order, and welcome everyone that may be watching us on live stream. And the first item on today's agenda is anyone needs to declare a pecuniary interest on today's agenda. We'd ask you to do so if and when the matter arises. And the next item is action items, and action item 2A is the 2018 Property Tax Policy Review. Betty Ann, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. And I'm pleased to present this annual report. It's a review for your consideration of the property tax policies. There are a number. I would just like to highlight a couple of things that certainly this follows previous years and maximizes our options to move any of the tax classes to CVA, so to current value assessment, and certainly under the capping provisions we are moving there, and there are very few properties, and I'm sure you hear those updates from your treasurers as well as we move out of that. It's been a long time coming. The other item is that we continue to include in here the exemption for our eligible Legion properties, and that was established, and we have 3 remaining years in that current bylaw, and that would be revisited again in 2020. Again, this past year we added the eligibility for the landfill, and we had to add the tax ratio for that, you will recall. And we also, in 2017, in a report in May, we looked at the vacancy rebate. And at that time we agreed that we would continue with that program, and that was supported by the lower tier treasurers, that even though we were given that broader flexibility to eliminate that program or to change it, that it really did have some value in Bruce County, but we needed to perhaps have some stricter rules, or at least the evaluation of that, and I just highlighted those again in this report for your information. And if we, again, that was highlighted in that May report, should we choose to move away from that, we would be required to engage the business community, and if that would be the will of committee at some time in the future, that we would partner with our corporate policy division, and particularly the economic development, to determine the business engagement requirements and to make changes to that. But in this report we're not recommending any changes to that for 2018. And then finally, just on the final page of the report, I have provided a table that highlights the tax ratios, and you can see where Bruce County fits into the mix with our neighboring counties and some farther afield counties. For Bruce County, our multi-residential was changed many years ago to 1 to equal our residential. Our commercial is retained at 1.233 within the range of fairness and below the average of these counties that have been identified, and our industrial as well at 1.7477 below the average. And you'll recall that our assessment is very heavily based on residential, so any shift would be a significant change on the residential, and the change in the commercial and industrial, and the reminder of how it impacts our payments in lieu as well. So there is a recommendation of the various tax policy recommendations, and just for information, it is expected that the report on assessment will be available at the January committee meeting.
Will you be so kind as to read the recommendation, Betty Ann?
I could read that recommendation if committee would like me to.
I'd move the recommendation. I don't think.
All right, great.
Fine without reading.
Second by Mitchell. Moved by Mike and second by Mitchell. The recommendation as posted there is approved. Is there any discussion on that motion? Mike?
Just to confirm, that we'll have the assessment number. You don't have them yet, probably, do you?
We have very preliminary,
yeah.
But the final assessment roll is just likely to be returned this week or next, and then we'll have that official information for January.
It's nice to see that, if you're really interested in this kind of stuff, it's nice to see the ratios and the assessments for the different classes.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. So information items, 2017 external audit, Betty Ann.
Information items that I'd be happy to answer any questions, but in particular, I'd just like to point out that we were very pleased to be able to submit an application in partnership with the Integrated Energy Performance Project, and I highlighted that in the report for your information, as well as the surplus that's being returned as a result of the Ministry of Health approved funding for Grey Bruce Health Unit, and certainly the results of the 2018 insurance program. I'm certain that everyone was delighted to see those results, and while it takes a lot of work, and certainly credit to our purchasing division, we were pleased to be able to return that, and you can see the significant savings that we will have as a result of the results of that RFP, likely in excess of $250,000 for 2018 for the program.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 information items? If not, we don't accept the information items by a motion, right? We'll move into next meeting is January 4th, 2018. And if there's nothing further at this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mitch, second by Ann. All those in favor of the motion, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.